forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will.
Welcome to the Hub. Again, another hour that you and I have to talk, to speak about the real issues we are confronted by, to defend our party, to promote our party, to defend our government, and to promote our government. And a lot of positive things are happening in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You know, today I laughed for a bit when I heard a certain representative on a particular program commending the government for repairing the Pearls Simon Bridge. So, in one breath, she commended the government for doing so, and she took a very long time to come out and commend the government. And then she went on to say, well, the government should now compensate all the businesses in that area because it was a job that should have been completed in 2 weeks, but it took 6 weeks or so. So she's calling on the government to find money and compensate the businesses in that area. Well, I know it's politics, but she sounds like a political lunatic, if you ask me, because she gives the impression that the government is printing money. And not only that, she's making people believe that that was the only road to get to Pearls and the only road to get to Simon. A big joke. So we have to remain focused. They are given platforms to say all manner of things. In fact, I heard the old bull today who doesn't want to call a convention, who doesn't want to have any audience with anybody who is speaking about the convention. In fact, Hamlet Mac took him to task today. And it's clear, this old bull is not going anywhere. He has no intention to go anywhere. He will hang on until NNP goes to the center cemetery. Just like when Gary gone, GLP gone. So Peter, you have to change your mind on leadership, or else you have to really fight for it. It doesn't seem as though it's going to happen anytime soon. Anytime that talk come up or that question come up about convention, you're making the old bull get angry and blue. And it reminds me of some of those old leaders in Africa. They just don't want to give up. They want to hang on to power until they're ousted by coups and other things like that. But I am saying, folks, today it was arrogance on display. Arrogance. He complained about every single thing. And he giving you the impression on one side as though he's still in government. because he thinks that he's still in government, as though he has all the connection and he knows everything. But why you didn't fix everything well when you were there? You didn't fix it. NDC has to come and fix it. And you give him the people the impression as though you have all the connections still and as though you're still in government. You didn't fix it, but you want NDC to come and fix it overnight, fix everything. And it's the same thing that the old bull is saying, is the same thing that this particular member of parliament from St. Andrew is saying. But it's the same thing they said just after the election. We want this now, and we want this fixed now, and we want that fixed now, and that must be done now. And that is how they're going. And then they would conclude by saying, well, we ain't see nothing that was done. We ain't see nothing that was done. Anytime you hear the NNP people talking about they ain't see anything that was done, is because they're looking for some concrete structure. The NNPs are concrete kind of thinking people, you know. They're thinking in terms of concrete roads, concrete drains, some building, even if it's empty. That is how they think. And to them, that is progress. And to them, that is development. That is what they want to see. Some concrete thing go up. They have always been that kind of party. It's all about concrete because their supporters are easily fooled. Their supporters are not academically inclined. They're not too bright. So when they see a piece of road, they say that's progress. When they see a piece of concrete drain, they say that's progress. When they see some building erected or built, they say that's progress, even if it's empty, even if nothing is happening in there. And that is what they have been doing to fool their supporters for many, many years. So anytime they open their mouth and say, well, we ain't see nothing happening, I know economic this, I know that, concrete they're looking for. But the NDC administration is about people. That is why they only recently signed an agreement with TAMCC, and I'll feature that momentarily, with TAMCC to have the people, the young people who are interested in the creative sector, the creative economy, they can go there and study aspects of that, areas within the creative sector for free, a scholarship given for free. You don't have to pay anything. That is why the government has the free tuition support program, where students going to TAMCC, they don't have to pay that $810. Students going to NULO, they don't have to pay that $750. And then you go down to secondary, primary, pre-primary. They don't have to pay any tuition to enter the school. That is why the government had only recently the school supplies and school uniform support program, giving them cash so that they can buy the school uniform, so that they can buy the supplies, so they can go to school. That is why the government continues to give scholarships and pay for scholarships and pay for a lot of scholarships around the world for our young people. That is why the government paid the pension and gratuity so that your grandmother and grandfather, father and mother and aunts and uncles, they can retire peacefully with the money that they're entitled to, their pension and their gratuity. So they got their retroactive pension and gratuity, and everyone who retires and going forward, they get in their pension and their gratuity so that they can meet their monthly commitments, they can pay their bills, they can see the doctor without hurting their head, they can go to the pharmacy without hurting their head, they can feed themselves. That's a government who cares about the people of the country. That is why the government paid the doc salaries back to teachers so that the extracurricular activities can come back. We saw sports, we saw all the different events, debates, and so on happening, science fair, and we can go on and on. It's because the doc salaries were paid. That is why the government increase of 13% over a 3-year period for workers is being received positively. They didn't have to protest, strike, or demonstrate for it. It's about dealing with people and making the life of people better. That is why the government is adjusting the minimum wage so that you can get a better salary, so that you can take care of your needs. That is why the government decided they would give the grant through the CESS program, $15.1 million. Remember the pension and gratuity, $75.1 million was given to people who retire and were not getting their pension and their gratuity for years. They got it under the NDC. That is why the CESS program, they spent $15.1 million in grant funding for our people to start their own little business, to expand their business, and to keep going. That's a government who cares about people, the human resource of our country. They have not abandoned fixing the roads and fixing the drains and fixing, the schools and fixing the clinics. We saw medical stations repaired. We saw hospitals upgraded and fixed. We saw schools expanded, reconditioned and fixed. Labs added, computer labs, science labs, lunch rooms, staff room, just name it, bathroom facilities. And we can go on and on. We saw the amount of training that they are receiving in agriculture. The farm labor program continues, where farmers are assisted. The plant distribution happened, where they got thousands of plants, spice trees, just name it, fruit trees, and we can go on and on. That's a government caring about people, not just a concrete road and a concrete drain and some concrete structure. We saw only recently tillers, soil tillers, and so on. Equipment given to farmers so that they can do more on their farms. We are seeing things happening. More airlifts into Grenada. We are seeing that. The government only recently took back the lands from this individual that the NNP gave it to promote Grenada. And all we are seeing is his dog with a scarf, a Grenadian scarf around its neck. Not him. So that land was taken back even if they had to pay for it. Because the NNP administration gave him freely, saying that he's going to promote this and promote that. They took it back, so it's in the hands of the Grenadian people. We saw that dispute with that developer, with that hotel, the Kiwana Bay Resort, where Flamboyant Hotel used to be. That was in the international court. The NDC administration settled that situation, that dispute. And now the hotel is in the hands of the government and people of Grenada. The lands is also in the hands of the government and people of Grenada. And we can go on and on and on. All the other safety net programs continue. The debushing program continue. Right? The housing repair program continue. The poor relief assistance program continue. We can go on and on and on and on. We are seeing a lot happening for our people. The economy is booming. They buy monthly salaries. Workers are happy. They're getting their money twice per month. Yes, it's their salary, but it's divided into two. So they get it twice per month. Easing up that whole burden where they have to go and borrow to make it till the end of the month. Things are happening for our people. And I love that. I'm happy about it. Our government is serious about the development of our people and the country as a whole. So our people are developing. Our people are becoming more prosperous. The government gave 100% concession for people in the creative industry. That's a big thing for our people. It's a big thing. Some people trivialize that. This is huge. Our government is working in the best interests of our people. So I want to commend the government. So while the NNP continue to complain, grind and groan, and say nothing is happening, because to them it's all about concrete. Some concrete road, some concrete drain, some concrete wall, some concrete building, even if it's empty. Look, for example, the NDC administration only recently had 8 new doctors. 8 countries around the world, they're fighting to get a doctor. We were able to hire 8 new doctors and 8 more to come. We see the kind of work being done by this administration. And we must commend them. We must commend them. The work, many of the work or projects that the NNP couldn't get off the ground, or they start and they just couldn't finish, the NDC completed it. Or they're working on completing those projects. So a lot of work is being done. And we have to acknowledge that things are happening for our people. But the NNP, they have never focused on our people, the development of our people. They have never done that. To them, to win an election, just build a piece of road, just build a concrete drain, just build some concrete structure, and coming close to the election, do some crazy stuff, spend all kind of money left, right, and center, and then they get back into power. And they're giving people the impression that they were only in power for 9 years and a half. That is what they're giving people the impression. I heard two of them today. One on that talk show program, the early morning program on GBN, and one on some kind of press conference. And it was really a quarrel. I would not call it a press conference, a bacchanal. Because the TB man, the old bull, was there. I call him the old bull. He's the TB man. And they're giving you the impression that they were only there for 10 years or 9 years and a half. But they were there for 23 years and a half. Don't make them fool you. They were in power for 23 years and a half. Look at how our roads are being paved and the work that is being done on our roads. Yes, it's not perfect. You can't get everything done one lash. But at the end of the day, they're doing the work step by step, brick by brick, brick by brick. We need to see it as is. Things are happening for our people. Things are happening, and we have to acknowledge that. This is a young team, and they're doing a marvelous job. The NNP was there for so long. And I say to the old bull, I call him the old bull, the bacchanal man, the old bull. He ain't want to go anyway. He's like some of those African leaders. They want to hang on there forever until somebody come and remove them. And he can't get over the fact that this young man, who was never involved in the politics of the country, came within 8 months and removed him. After being there for 20-something years, he was removed by this young man, 40-something years, in 8 months. That's heroic. Can't get over that. Can never get over that. But I'm challenging him. The Honorable Jonathan Lacrette went into the constituency that you were elected to represent. And he visited all the schools and he gave them monetary contributions so that they can effectively run their classrooms and the schools. I want to say to you, you have millions of dollars. What have you done? And what do you intend to do for the schools in your constituency? That constituency is lagging behind. In fact, it just happened that people have to go all the way up to Mount Morris now. And all the way around, the road collapsed. The dump was on fire for quite a while. Right? So a lot of things. And if you're going the back end of that constituency, they need a lot of help. I could tell you that. So he has not done anything much for that constituency. Nothing much. You check, look at the Busheshu playing field. You don't even have a proper pavilion. I think there's a church at the top there. And some bar downstairs. Nothing much. The thing break down since Ivan or whenever. On the other side, nothing has been done there. It's not even lit, much less. You move to any other playing field, same thing. They have not done anything significant. This man has not done anything significant in his constituency.
So I am here this morning at the Grandmount Preschool with the principal and staff and also students, and there are some parents here as well as they drop off their children for the first time at the school. The St. George Northwest Council was formed so that we have a wider representation throughout the entire constituency of persons in the various communities representing their communities. And as a result, this morning I am here on behalf of the St. George Northwest Council. Being the head of the council, I am presenting a check for $2,000 to the Grandmount Preschool at the start of school so that they can use it to purchase any supplies that they need to carry them through the rest of the term. So, receive on, and that your principal is not here. I'm sure that you are collecting on behalf of her, and I am presenting on behalf of St. George Council this check for the Grandmount.
Well, on behalf of the Grandmount Preschool staff and principal, who's not here but I'm sitting in, I would like to say thanks to Senator Lacrette, who has actually adopted the school But I think we go way, way back when, and I really appreciate it. And this would do a lot for the children to buy school supplies and other things. Thank you once again.
On behalf of the St. George Northwest Council, Ms. Court, I would like to present you with this check for $3,500. You want to start?
So I want to say thank you, Honorable Jonathan Lafrette, for gracing us with your presence this morning and for giving us this generous donation this morning, which is so unexpected. A pleasant surprise, and I can tell you it will go into good use to benefit all the stakeholders of this. Thank you so much.
We do have a chairman and an executive, and the chair so graciously obliged for me to be here this morning to present this check of $3,500, to the principal and staff of the Happy Hill Primary School so that you can use it. So that you can use it for assistance throughout the school term. So Mr. Francis, on behalf of the council, God bless you and your staff and your school, and we trust that you're going to have a successful academic school year.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Lafrette, for this donation, and I know it's really going to go a long way because we have lots of things to be done at the school. Once again, on behalf of the staff and the students, thank you very much for such.
I want to present this check for $5,500 to the principal, staff, and students so that it can assist you in whatever it is that you have to do throughout the term. And I'm very grateful and delighted to do so. So this is the end of my presentation. God bless you.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, madam.
I would, on behalf of the school, all teachers, students, all stakeholders of the Happy Hill Secondary School, I would like to convey special thank you to Senator Lafrette. It's a lot of money, don't you agree?
Yeah.
5,000. To begin the school year with $5,500 is a really nice surprise. Let us give Senator a round of applause. Senator, again, I'd like to thank you. Quiet, everybody, for your unwavering commitment to this institution. Apart from that, and that's just a sum total of money that we're getting this morning, but Senator has pledged to do much more.
The council felt that seeing that this is the start of the new school year, that a monetary donation to all schools would go a very long way in procuring materials or resources that would help throughout the school term. So on behalf of the St. George Northwest Council, of which I head, the chairman is not here this morning because he's also a teacher, so he had to be at his school, but the deputy chair is here. They have given me the permission to go ahead and to present on behalf of the council this check of $2,000 to the Initiative Preschool.
Thank you. Minister, on behalf of the students and staff, we would like to appreciate to tell you how much we appreciate it, and this will go a long way into furthering the cause here. So once again, we thank you for all your efforts and all of your donations and everything. Thank you so much.
The council felt it best that seeing that school is now embarking on its new academic school year, and that we have preschools, primary schools, and one secondary school throughout the constituency, that it would be prudent to deliver to these schools a financial contribution to assist with the running of the operational processes for the rest of the term. So we hope it's going to go a long way. The council has a chairman, and the chairman is also an educator, so he couldn't be here this morning, but the deputy chair is here, Mr. Ryan, and the chairman has released me to present it on the council's behalf. So on behalf of the St. George Northwest Council, I would like to present this check for $3,500 to the she took a deep breath, for $3,500 to Ms. Tilbury, to you and your staff, and the students.
So on behalf of myself and staff and the students of TLC Academy, I would like to say a hearty thank you to Minister for gracing us with his presence this morning and for bringing along such wonderful gift to our school. We appreciate it very much, and whatever we do with it, we're going to make it useful for the school and for the students. So once again, I'd like to say thank you to all those who are involved in the council and to Minister.
Right, so again, folks, that is what we are focused on. Positive stuff. So while the old bull opened a circus, because he's a good clown in that circus, while he was on television and radio with his clown show, the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette was in the schools, meeting the principals, staff, and students, and giving them monetary donations from a council that he set up. It's not just NDC or NNP, but concerned citizens of that constituency come together and they continue to raise funds and source funds and so on. So he decided to go about and give thousands of dollars to the schools in that constituency. And don't believe that he won that constituency. The old bull that won that constituency, who ain't want to go anywhere. He believes that he will remain there until 120 years old. But we are seeing that the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette is not just talking the talk, but walking the walk to bring development, to bring assistance to the people of that constituency. And I hope that they're opening up their eyes to see the genuine nature of this young man who believes in people. And again, it's in keeping with the government's mantra, the government's policy. It's about people's development. If you develop people, the human resource capacity of the country, if you help our people to move to the next level, things will be better. In other words, if you are in a community and you have, let's say, 500 people living in that community, and 50 are with pit latrines, and the 450 with flushable toilets. With the pit latrines, you would get more mosquitoes, you will get more roaches, you will get certain stuff from that. And there's a stigma to it. If you can help the 50 people to move to that place where they have a flushable toilet, it will improve the living standard and condition of the 50, but also the community. It has a ripple effect. So there will be less mosquitoes, less roaches, less of that. If you're living in a community with 500 people and you have the bins that the government introduced, one for plastic, one for bottles, one for compost materials, right? The community will be cleaner and they can actually use the compost to do stuff in that community. And that is how important it is. That is how you have to see it. When the government renovated, upgraded the Good Hope Medical Station, or the Wester Hall Medical Station, or the Princess Royal Hospital in Carriacou, or the other medical stations throughout the country, it means that You can go there instead of putting all the load on the general hospital. You see, the nurses can function better. When the Honorable Ron Redhead went to the medical stations in his constituency and brought fridges, refrigerators to them so that they can put their lunch, so they can put their drinks and so on, instead of mixing it up with the medicine that has to be refrigerated. It makes life easier for the nurses. They can operate in a better condition, in a more conducive environment, so that they can do their work properly. And as a result, you will get better service. So you have to see it in that light. So when government injects money into the community, so you had, for example, a number of elderly people, people who retired from government, they were not getting their pension under the NNP administration. The NNP refused to pay them their pension for many years. Some of them retired 10 years, 9 years, 8 years, they never got their pension. The NDC came into power and paid them the backlog, the retroactive pension, all the money that was owing to them, and their gratuity. So they get a lump sum. Who get 300 and something thousand, 200 and something thousand, 400 and something. I mean, they got a lot of money. $75.1 million spent on them. So that person in your community no longer has to go and beg or no longer has to depend on anybody. They don't have money. They could do repairs, create little jobs for one or two people in the community. And that is what is happening. So there is a ripple effect, right? And that is what we must understand. So you have parent in the home, right? Mother, father, or single parent home. Maybe just the mother or maybe just the father. That child completed secondary school, now going to college. That mother had to find $810 for tuition, the tuition fee to pay the college. Or maybe that child is going to NULO to become a plumber, an electrician, a joiner, a mason, a carpenter, right? A seamstress, a tailor. I'm saying that parent had to find that money. But with government's policy of free tuition, they don't have to find that money anymore. That money could be used for something else, paying transport, lunch, whatever. And in some instances, you have two children, young people, going to TAMCC or NULO. You think that's easy? So when the government roll out that policy, it makes it easier for that parent, and the community benefits ultimately. And that is how we have to see it. But you see, it requires education. It requires a lot of work to change the mindset of our people. But the NNP say, well, nothing has been done. We ain't see nothing. They ain't do nothing in the place. That's what the NNP is saying. The old bull, the old Morocois out there, say nothing is done. I ain't see anything because they're looking for some concrete this, concrete that, concrete that. They're not about people's development. But I'm saying to you, just look at it in that light. When the farm labor program started, you have farmers in your community. On a normal day, they have to pay for labor. They have to get their money, find their money, and pay for labor. They get it free. Taxpayers' money, government paying for it. When the CES program was rolled out, and a number of people in your community, there's a lady right up here, not far from where I live. She got some assistance. So she's now making more stuff. She has a refrigerator that she can store her stuff. She told me that personally. She's now producing more, making more. And that's good for the community. There's another farmer who got some assistance with equipment and, to irrigate and all this kind of stuff. That's a good thing. A very good thing. But some people can only see concrete road, concrete drain, some concrete structure. And to them, that's progress. And to them, that's development, even if you have no plan after that. So you build a structure, a concrete structure, with nothing in place. So just a white elephant just remaining there with no plan, nothing in place. That is what we are accustomed to. But we have shifted. There's a paradigm shift towards advanced planning. towards making sure that we develop our people. Because once our people are developed, the community will be developed. Things will be done differently. Things will be done differently. If you have a person in your house who is a university graduate or a TAMCC graduate or a secondary school graduate, it changes everything in the house. Well, particularly a university grad. It changes everything. And if you have people in your house who are educated, who are knowledgeable, then they will not leave the fridge open. No, because they know if they leave the fridge open, it will be a lot of current. You'll have to pay more. They will change the lights to LED because they know if they have that, they will be paying less. They will not leave the water running. They will not be brushing their teeth and leave the water running. Because they're educated, they know if they do that, then the water bill will be high. They will not just throw anything outside in the yard. They would clean the yard because they know it has to be clean because it can make you sick. They would know to drink spring water, or they would know to filter their water because they know that the pipe water, a lot of chlorine and so on. They would know that they have to be hydrated. They'll be juicing stuff because there are people who don't really drink water. They get water from juicing stuff. So you have beet and carrot, ginger, a cucumber, apple. You juice that. Natural. You get the natural water. Because when you drink water, it just washes out, really it goes in and comes out as urine. But when you drink, you juice stuff, you get the nutrition, the nutrients, and you become more nourished. You have the pineapple and the turmeric and you mix that and you juice that. Cucumber, kale, spinach, apple, green apple. So education causes you to do that. You know that you don't have to fry stuff. You steam stuff. You grill stuff. You bake stuff. You know that your plate has to be colorful instead of a whole bowl of rice, starch, and a whole pile of sweet chicken. And by the time you take it, you go and sleep. Your liver working overtime, your heart, everything working overtime. So once you're educated, you know exercising is important, right? You know rest is important. You speak properly. You communicate properly. And the children will then learn. That is what education does in a home. And then the economic status of the home will change because that person will be working, earning a daily bread, bringing home cash to pay the bills, and then that person will then communicate. We'll talk about money management, budgeting, because that's something that they have not taught us in school, to manage our money, right? Financial literacy, managing your money, budgeting, putting something away for a rainy day or rainy days. You understand? That person would understand the need for life insurance, health insurance. That is what education does. But the NNP is not about that. They're all about a concrete road or a concrete drain or some piece of some building or something all around the place. But when you're educated, you know that you don't have to throw your garbage all about and pull out your private part and pee all about the place. I hate to see a woman pull on she clothes and pee all around the place. But mind you, if they go to Canada, they have to fall in line. They can't spit on the streets. They cannot urinate on the streets. They sick or not, they have to find somewhere to do it. That's proper. Some restroom, some bathroom facility, toilet and bathroom facility. Education would cause you not to just pull out your private and pee all around the place and stink up all the place. That is what is important. Education would cause you to brush your teeth and shave below your arm and make sure that you're smelling well and wash your clothes properly and iron your clothes and so on. And say good morning, say good afternoon, and respect people and let people respect you too. Because you don't demand the respect, you earn it. So that is so important. We have to understand the ripple effect of what the government is doing. For the NNP, it's all about some concrete road or some concrete drain or some concrete building. So they always say, well, I ain't see nothing happening. They ain't doing nothing. Nothing is happening in the country. That is how they think. That is how they see development. But we have to move from that barbaric, thought in 10 thinking. We cannot continue to see development as some piece of concrete road, or some piece of concrete drain, or some piece of concrete building. And you always hear them talk about the poor and the vulnerable. Anytime the old bull, the old Morocco, open his mouth about the poor and the vulnerable, this creature is a multimillionaire. What has he done to improve your life, to bring you at least to $19,000? How many of you can say you have $19,000 in the bank, cash? How many of you can point to that you actually, he has $19 million? That old bull, that old Morocco, he has $19 million. How many people in Grenada can say they have $19,000 in the bank or in the credit union? Very, very, very few. So every time he opens his mouth, it's about poor and vulnerable, poor and vulnerable. But it's the NNP that make the people poor and keep them vulnerable, because over the many years, the NNP has been a direct beneficiary of these people being poor and vulnerable. They don't question nothing, they just go and vote for them over and over again, even if they're living in abject poverty, extreme poverty. So they don't want them to lift their standard and become rich, become prosperous, have a better living standard and condition. They don't want that for you. So they keep you poor. Most of the NNP supporters just look at the teeth in their mouth. Just look at the teeth in their mouth. Look at the clothes and how they wear their clothes and so on. Just go close to them, their hygiene and so on. Listen to them when they speak, their grammar and so on. Just think about it. Look at where they live, some of them. And look at the family. Just follow their family. Everybody just stuck in this cycle of poverty, hardship, and illiteracy. That's what it is. It's clear cut. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand what the NNP did to our people, you know. The NNP is worse than some of those, slave drivers and slave masters of old, They kept our people in poverty, enslaved, in servitude. So the process of liberation started. And to liberate, you have to educate. So they know that. They're scared. The NNP is scared like hell. Because here you have some young people who are thinking and who are planning. So they're planning, they're thinking, they have ideas, and they're bringing it to life. And they're planning short-term, medium-term, and long-term to transform our people. The way we think, the way we live, the way we eat, the way we react, the way we deal with our people. The transformation is holistic. So I am saying we have to embrace the transformation, because every time the NNP open their mouth, it's about the poor and the vulnerable and the poor and the vulnerable. If you love the poor and the vulnerable so much, why didn't you take them out of poverty? Those contract workers who support you, there's some guy on some news saying he was some coach or some coach. The NNP love you so much. Why didn't it make you prominent? Why didn't it make you prominent? All you care about the NNP so much that all you forget to care about all yourself. And that's the fact, A lot of those NNP supporters, they care about the NNP as a party so much that they forget to even care about themselves. Look at their state and their condition. You're supporting a party for so long and you're on contract. For 8 years, you're on contract. 9 years, 10 years, you're on contract. And the party love you. Something wrong with all you, All you need a bush bat, a bushery bat. Just grab all you and just one bait all in the mouth of the bushery. And I hope you are TT ready to just, put some sense in all your head. Or get some old bush and lighter thing and put all around the smoke to smoke out all you, the lunacy that exists within your head. The stupidity that exists among you. because you have been indoctrinated for many years to believe remaining poor is a normal thing. What's wrong with all you? I want you to be prosperous. I want you and your family to be able to have. That is what it's supposed to be. A better standard of living, better conditions. But every time the NNP open their mouth, it's about the poor and the vulnerable. Look at the condition of their supporters. The majority of NNP supporters are living in extreme poverty. Some of them cannot even speak. Look at this mosquito. The guy cannot even string a good sentence together. His grammar is really bad. But with technology, free access, free platform, the guy believes that he's reaching some people. But the guy's dunce. But that's a reflection of NNP. The NNP, the majority of NNP supporters are extremely illiterate or extremely dunce. And that's a fact. The NNP never try to educate them and empower them and bring them up to a certain standard. No. And that is why they don't brush when they're supposed to do, brush their teeth and so on, and to, make sure that your teeth remain there. During the election campaign, there were a lot of meme and a lot of, little videos going around of those NNP supporters. When they smile you have to run. But if you look at the old bull and all the others at the top, they're taking care of themselves. They're taking good care of themselves. They want to remain young, forever young, looking all good, but their supporters are in a real bad state. Come on. You see some of them, the pants, by the time if the wind blow, it's like a parachute, baggy old pants and old shirt, and you see them, they hair not even properly, trimmer or comb or whatever, the NNP supporters, and you follow them from that point and follow them to their house. You could take a bamboo in some instances and just juke inside and juke so, because they love their party so much that they don't even love themselves. It's what it is. They don't love their family and themselves. That is why most of them, they're on contract within the government service. They're not permanent, and they don't have what it takes. The intellect, the competency, they don't have it. So they're on contract, and they want NDC to come and make them permanent overnight. NNP didn't do it in 23 years and a half. You want NDC to come and do it overnight? Joke all you're making. It has to be something that must be appraised. You have to be assessed. That's what it is. So folks, I am saying, when the NNP, when you hear those folks, when they, well, nothing was done, I ain't seen nothing happening, they're looking for concrete road and concrete drain and concrete this and concrete that. They are concrete thinking people, just concrete. Some concrete this and concrete that. They can't see the kind of investment the NDC is making in our people. They can't see it. And look, I know about the NNP supporters. Don't fool yourself. You live close to an NNP supporter, and you move from pit latrine to flushable toilet, and move from not having a concrete veranda, put a concrete veranda with a concrete step. Expand your house, build a little downstairs, buy a little car, build a little bit of road. They covet us. They envy us. I'm telling you, they don't like progress. They don't like you to develop and advance. You're mad. They're keeping you enemy. Let your child excel academically and go on to be a doctor or an agronomist or a teacher or, just name it. They envying you, those NNP supporters. That is why one called some time ago and he said, well, why should they send all the children who sat the CPEA exam straight onto secondary school? The guys, the NNP supporter, why should the government send all of them onto secondary school? That is what the NNP supporter is saying, And when I investigated deeper, I then realized that the individual did not go on to secondary school. So he doesn't want the young people now to get a chance of a secondary school education. He's still thinking in that realm where he did not get the chance to go to secondary school and they should not. That's how the NNP supporters are thinking. That is exactly how they're thinking, because they did not achieve, they did not excel, they did not go anywhere because the NNP kept them down. The NNP kept their supporters down. Some of them, they cannot even reason, they cannot even think on their own. If you go to St. George's or any town in Grenada and you see a vagrant and you look at the jersey they're wearing, political jersey they're wearing, is an NNP jersey. The majority of them, NNP jersey. Just look at it. No upward mobility, jealousy, grudge. That is how they inculcate that kind of hatred and venom in them. They instill that, they shove it inside of them. They inject it in them. The hatred and the venom, they bitter, they sour. But look at the 5% of that party and the supporters. They're well off. But the majority of the supporters, they're catching a royal to make ends meet. They're living in extreme poverty. So for the NNP, anytime you hear they open their mouth, I ain't see nothing, I ain't see nothing, I ain't see nothing happening. All they thinking is in concrete terms. But what the NDC has to do is to list the many things that they have done to better the living standard and condition of our people. For many, many years, the NNP was in power. They never addressed the minimum wage issue in this country. They never. It took the NDC to come back and address the minimum wage issue in the country. The NNP don't care about you. You're marching in the streets, fighting for your pension and gratuity. They never gave you. No. You just think about it. You have police officers, because they always say, well, most of the police force, they're NNP supporters. Ask them, what did you get from NNP? Nothing. Nothing. Those folks who beat in their chest like King Kong. You ain't get nothing from them. The NDC came into power. You got increases and you got fringe benefits that you were negotiating for years, and now they're looking at pay and grade to increase your salary. Some of you all who talking all you NNP, all you should put all your head in a damn crocus bag and don't even pigtail bucket and don't even show all yourself. Shameless piece of thing. Stop it. So I am saying a lot has happened for our people. The development of our people, the amount of training, the amount of engagement. Just the engagement is a new type of governance. Under NNP, there was consultation with the people and engagement with the people. Where you saw that? That would have never ever happened. Your mother what? Not under NNP. NDC came and they changed all of that. We have to call it out because Grenadians are in a better position.
An agreement has been signed between the Grenada Office of Creative Affairs in the Ministry of Economic Development, Planning, Tourism, ICT and the Creative Economy, and the T.A. Marisho Community College to offer scholarships to students to pursue specialized courses on the TAMCC's Creative and Cultural Industries Associate Degree Program. It was one of the recommendations made in May of this year at Unleash, Grenada's premier cultural and creative industries conference, which was held at the Radisson Resort. The agreement, which was signed by Minister for Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, Honorable David Andrew, and Mr. Ronald Brunton, principal of the college, paves the way for students to pursue courses in areas like Introduction to Entertainment Law, Introduction to Entrepreneurship for Creative Industries, and Digital Media, among others.
So today we've had the signing of that document, the agreement between the college, the Office of Creative Affairs, Ministry of Education, to facilitate those courses that will be made available to students and persons in the creative free of charge, scholarships. And we are again happy as a government to present those to our people, and we signed those today. We are delighted.
Minister for Education, Honorable David Andrew. Mr. Isaac Bagwan, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Development, Planning, Tourism, ICT and the Creative Economy, says the initiative is part of the government's plans to build capacity in an alternative sector where employment opportunities can be provided.
The courses are tailored to the particular needs. It is also, the courses will also be done at flexible time to facilitate the persons who are involved in the creative, so that you were speaking about in the afternoon time, late afternoon, so that they could get an opportunity to participate and enhance their particular skills.
Mr. Orlando Romain is the advisor in the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development with responsibility for ICT, digital economy and the creative economy. He says the three major recommendations from Unleash were the need for more opportunities to encourage capacity building for creatives, more financing resources, and formalizing the creative sector.
This initiative will allow creatives the opportunity to enhance their skills and their knowledge in specific areas of business related to the creative industry. We have courses in entertainment law, courses in entrepreneurship for creatives, courses in digital marketing, all which we believe will significantly enhance their abilities to function as proper businesses or proper entrepreneurs in this landscape. So this is one out of many initiatives that we plan to unveil in the coming months. And we encourage the creatives to register for the courses. It is free of cost. As you would see, our government is trying to move towards a country where education is accessible, where it is free, and where it is of a high standard.
Right. Thank you very much, there. Yeah, so things are happening for our people. And we have to document those things because to the NNP and their supporters, nothing is happening because for them, concrete road is what they consider to be something. Concrete drain is what they consider to be something. Some concrete building. That is why in the lead up to the election, they spent $20-something million in Tongue alone, in St. George alone, on little concrete drains and concrete roads, you know. $50-something million was spent on these kind of things in the lead up to the election, you know. I'm telling you, $50-something million, concrete road, concrete drain, them like a piece of thing on them. Yeah, because they wanted to win. That is how they think. But folks, I want to thank you very much for being a part of the program. I'll be back with you tomorrow, God's willing, from 8 in the a.m. on in the program, or on the program called the Dynamic Hour. Not in, but on. On the program called the Dynamic Hour. So within that Dynamic Hour, we will engage meaningfully. We have to keep on that journey. We can't cease. We can't stop. We have to keep at it. Take good care.